Right now, every atom in your body is borrowed from a dead star. But here is the part that should keep you up at night. There is no reason any of those stars had to exist. There is no reason anything had to exist, and no one can tell you why it does. That gap, that silence where an answer should be, might be the deepest hole the human mind has ever looked into. By the end of this, you will see why even our best tools, physics, logic, math, all hit a wall when they try to fill it. And why that wall itself might be the most honest answer we have. Start with what feels obvious. You woke up this morning. There was air. There was light. There was a floor under your feet. Coffee in a cup. Birds outside a window. None of this strikes you as strange because it never has. We never stop to ask why any of it is here. We just live. But peel back that comfort for a second. Strip away the coffee. Strip away the birds. Strip away the planet, the stars, the fields of energy that hold it all in place. What are you left with? Not darkness. Not silence. Not even empty space. Because space itself is something. You are left with a concept so slippery that some of the sharpest minds in history could not even hold it steady long enough to name it. Nothing. True, pure, total nothing. And here is where the trouble starts. Because the moment you try to think about nothing, you have already failed. The act of thinking is something. The mind doing the thinking is something. The word ek nothing is itself a thing, a sound, a pattern of letters, a concept riding on neurons and breath. A long time ago, a Greek thinker named Parmenides put it bluntly. He said what can be thought must exist. The void, he argued, is not just empty. It is unthinkable. You cannot point your mind at pure absence any more than you can see the back of your own eyes. Centuries later, Heidegger took a different angle. He treated Nietzsche the nothing not as a blank, but as a kind of backdrop. The darkness that lets you notice the light. Without it, he said, being itself loses all meaning. Then Sartre came along and moved the whole problem inside the human skull. He said nothingness lives in us. It is the gap between what we are and what we could be. It is what makes choice possible. 3 brilliant thinkers, 3 clashing answers, and none of them could agree on what nothing even is. So if the greatest minds cannot define the thing we are asking about, why does the question still matter? Because we can look at the other side. We can study the something. And when we do, we find clues that are even stranger than the question itself. Here is where the puzzle takes a sharp turn. A German thinker named Leibniz, writing letters back and forth with Newton's defender Samuel Clarke, laid down a rule that still haunts physics. He said every fact needs a reason, not just facts inside the universe itself. If you line up dominoes, each one falls because the one behind it fell. But what tipped the first one? Leibniz said you cannot just shrug and say it fell on its own. Something has to ground the whole chain. He pushed the logic all the way to what he called a needed being. Something that could not fail to exist. Something whose own nature demanded its presence. For Leibniz, that was God. But you do not have to go there to feel the force of his argument. The chain of reasons either goes on forever, which explains nothing, or it stops at something that simply must be. Either way, the universe owes us an answer. But does it? Here is where a sharp pushback lands. Some thinkers argue the demand for a reason is itself just a habit of the human mind. We live inside time. We see causes and effects every day. Ball hits window, window breaks. But zoom out far enough, past the edge of time, past the origin of space, and maybe cause and effect do not apply anymore. Maybe asking Ons, why does the universe exist, is like asking Ors, what is north of the North Pole. The question has the shape of sense, but no actual meaning. This pushback is serious. It suggests the question might be broken, not the answer. Keep that in your pocket. We will come back to it. Now set the thinkers aside for a moment. Walk into a physics lab. Because here, the word os nothing takes a beating it never recovers from. In the late 1940s, a Dutch physicist named Hendrik Casimir made a strange guess. Take 2 metal plates. Put them very close together, a gap thinner than a human hair. Leave them in what we call a vacuum, the emptiest space we can make. According to old ideas, nothing should happen. Empty space is empty, but Casimir said the plates would feel a pull toward each other. Not from gravity, not from static charge, from the vacuum itself. The empty space between the plates has fewer ripples of energy than the space outside. That gap creates a real measurable force. Decades later, a physicist named Lamoureux confirmed it in the lab. The force matched the prediction closely. Empty space is not empty. It hums. It pushes. It pulls. The so-called void is a churning sea of energy, with brief flickers of particles popping in and out of life too fast to catch but real enough to move metal. And this is not some tiny footnote in physics. This seething vacuum energy scales up to the entire cosmos. Satellites have mapped it. That energy, that pressure baked into the fabric of nothing, is what drives the universe to expand faster and faster. It makes up the largest share of everything that exists. More than all the stars, more than all the galaxies. The biggest slice of reality is not matter. It is not light. It is the energy of the void itself. So pause here. If nothing contains energy, if emptiness has weight, if the vacuum pushes galaxies apart, then what exactly are we asking when we say, "En fuck, why is there something rather than nothing?" The nothing we pictured, the blank, silent, featureless void, does not match anything physics has ever found. Every time we empty a box, we find the box still full. But there is a deeper layer still, and this is where the ground drops out. Some physicists argue that true nothing, total zero activity emptiness, is not just hard to find. It is unstable. Think of a pencil balanced on its tip. In theory, it could stay there forever. In practice, the smallest tremble brings it down. Physicists Sean Carroll and Jennifer Chen applied a similar idea to the void itself. They argued that a state of perfect emptiness would almost certainly tip over into something. The odds are wildly small, but remove time from the equation entirely, and even the most unlikely event stops being unlikely. It becomes certain. This flips the whole question on its head. We started by asking why something exists. But if nothing is unstable, then asking why is there something is like asking why does a pencil fall? The real puzzle would be the opposite. How could nothing ever hold still long enough to be nothing? Now, let us be honest about the limits of this answer. The unstable void idea is elegant, but it does not close the case, because you can always push one step further. If the vacuum has rules, if quantum fields have traits, if even emptiness follows laws, then where did those laws come from? The instability argument swaps one mystery for another. Instead of asking Raud, why is there stuff, we ask Raud, why are there rules that make stuff certain? See, we have not escaped the chain. We have just added a shinier link. And here is where the question bumps against something truly hard. Maybe explanation itself has a boundary. We are used to answering ekaka why questions by pointing to something deeper. Why does the apple fall? Gravity. Why does gravity work? Curved space. Why does space curve? The equations of general relativity. But at some point, you hit a floor. You reach a fact that does not rest on anything beneath it. And at that floor, the word wise stops working. Not because we are not smart enough, but because explanation is a tool, and every tool has edges it cannot cut past. Some thinkers embrace this. They call these bedrock facts brute facts. Things that are true with no further reason. The universe exists. Full stop. No deeper story. Others reject this as giving up too soon. They insist there must be a reason, even if we cannot find it yet. The tension between these two camps is not a problem to be solved. It is the landscape we live in. But there is one more wrinkle worth sitting with. What if the question why is there something rather than nothing carries a hidden guess? It treats nothing as the default, the starting point, the thing that should have been. And something as the guest, the surprise, the thing that needs a permission slip. But what if that is backwards? What if nothing was never a real option? Not because of physics, not because of logic, but because the very idea of nothing is a phantom, a word without a world behind it. Every time we try to describe it, we smuggle something in. A space for it to be in, a time for it to last, a mind to notice it. If nothing cannot even be described without becoming something, then maybe the question was rigged from the start. Maybe asking why is there something is like asking why is 2 + 2 4 da'as. The answer is not a cause. It could not have been otherwise. This does not feel satisfying. And maybe that is the point. The deepest questions are not the ones with the best answers. They are the ones that reveal the shape of our own thinking. We want reasons. We want chains of cause and effect that trace back to a neat origin. But the universe is not required to fit what we prefer. It is not required to have a story with a first page. Here is what the journey through this question does give us, though. It strips away false comfort. The world you wake up in every morning is not obvious. It is not guaranteed. It is wildly, almost violently unlikely. Or else it is the only thing that could ever have been, and we do not know which. If this made you think in a direction you did not expect, there is more at this depth on the channel. Leave a comment and tell me where your mind landed. Not what you think the right answer is. Where the question itself took you. I want to know. You opened your eyes this morning in a universe that owes you no explanation for its own presence, and it gave you one anyway. Not an answer. A question sharp enough to cut all the way down.